You have a dog asleep at your feet right now, or you've had one, and you've done this thing without thinking. You walked into the room, your dog looked up, and within half a second, it knew something was wrong with you. Not from your voice. You hadn't said anything. It read your face. Your dog looked at your eyebrows, the set of your mouth, the tension around your eyes, and it made a guess about your inner state that was probably correct. Now here's the part nobody tells you. A wolf, the animal your dog descended from, between roughly 15 and 40,000 years ago, cannot do this. Put a wolf in that same room, and your face is nearly invisible to it as a source of information. Same eyes, same brain wiring, mostly. One can read you, one can't. And the reason comes down to two tiny muscles above the eyes that exist in dogs and have all but vanished in wolves. Stay with me, because I'm going to walk you through exactly what changed. First, I'll show you the specific muscle your dog grew that no wolf has, and the study that found it under a dissection microscope. Second, I'll explain why that muscle makes the eyes that famous puppy dog look, and why you physically cannot resist it. Third, I'll show you what wolves see when they look at your face, which is almost nothing, and why that's not stupidity, but survival. Fourth, I'll trace the deep time accident that selected for face readers around your ancestors' fires. And fifth, I'll tell you the one thing your dog reads on your face that even most owners never notice they're broadcasting. Let's start with the muscle, because it's real and it has a name. In 2019, a team of comparative anatomists led by Juliane Kaminski dissected the faces of domestic dogs and gray wolves, the same way a medical student dissects a human cadaver, peeling back the skin to map the muscle underneath. Above the eye, dogs had a small muscle the researchers called the levator, anguli, oculi, medialis. Say that slowly, the inner eyebrow raiser. In dogs, it was a thick, well-formed band of muscle. In the wolves, in nearly every wolf they examined, it was missing. Or it was a thin, faint scrap of tissue, barely there. This is not a difference in training. This is not a difference in personality. This is anatomy. A physical structure that grew into the dog and faded out of the wolf. And there was a second muscle, one that pulls the outer corner of the eye, that was also stronger in dogs. Together, these two muscles do one specific job. They raise the inner eyebrow and widen the eye, which makes the eye look bigger, rounder, and more infant-like. That single movement is the puppy dog look. It is not your dog manipulating you on purpose. It is a piece of facial machinery that grew over thousands of years specifically because it worked on the human face looking back. Hold that thought, because here's why it works on you and you cannot stop it. The human brain is built, from infancy, to respond to baby faces. Large eyes, a high forehead, a small chin. We are wired to find those features unbearably compelling because a baby's survival depends on adults being unable to ignore it. When your dog raises that inner eyebrow, it triggers the exact same circuit. Kaminski's group ran a separate study watching shelter dogs. The dogs that made that inner eyebrow movement more often were rehomed faster, the study found. Let that land. The expression was linked to which animals got rehomed sooner and which stayed longer in cages. Selection, happening in real time, in a shelter, in front of us. Now the loop I opened at the start. What does a wolf actually see when it looks at your face? For a long time, the assumption was that wolves simply weren't smart enough or social enough to bother. That turns out to be wrong, and the way it's wrong is the interesting part. Wolves are intensely social. They live in tight family groups. They cooperate to hunt animals far larger than themselves. They read each other constantly. But they read each other through body posture, tail position, ear angle, and the whole stance of the body. The face, the fine flicker of an eyebrow, is not their channel. A wolf looking at your face is looking at a billboard written in a language it never learned. The information is there, it just doesn't parse. There's a second, deeper reason, and it's about eye contact itself. For a wolf, a hard, direct stare into the eyes is a threat. It's a challenge, a prelude to conflict. Wolves largely avoid sustained eye contact with humans, and when they do hold it, it carries tension. Your dog does the opposite. Your dog seeks your gaze. And when your dog looks into your eyes and you look back, something measurable happens inside both of you. A study out of Japan, led by Takefumi Kikusui, measured oxytocin, the bonding hormone, in dogs and their owners. After a session of mutual gazing, oxytocin rose in the owner, and it rose in the dog. The same loop that bonds a human mother to her infant through eye contact had been hijacked and rebuilt between two completely different species. Wolves raised in the same conditions did not produce that loop. The gaze that calms you and the gaze that calms your dog is a thing dogs evolved into. Wolves stayed outside it. So how did this happen? Walk back into deep time with me, to somewhere between 15 and 40,000 years ago, to the edges of human camps in the last ice age. The old story was that humans captured wolf pups and tamed them. The more likely story is quieter and stranger. Wolves came to us. They came for the scraps, the bones, the gut piles we left behind. The boldest, calmest wolves, the ones that could sit near a human and not panic and not attack, ate better and bred more. Fear got selected out, generation by generation. This is the self-domestication idea, and you can watch a compressed version of it in a famous Russian fox experiment, where silver foxes bred only for calmness toward humans started, within a few decades, to develop floppy ears, patchy coats, and more expressive faces. Tameness drags a whole train of changes behind it. Now add the human side. Around those fires sat a creature with an unusual obsession. We read faces. We are the most face-fixated animal that has ever lived. We see faces in clouds, in electrical sockets, in the front of cars. An animal living alongside that creature, whose survival depended on being kept near and fed, was under quiet, relentless pressure to do one thing better than its rivals. Be readable. Be reassuring. The wolf at the edge of the firelight that could meet a human eye softly, that could raise an inner eyebrow and look briefly like a needy infant, got the scrap thrown to it instead of the rock. Over thousands of generations, that pressure built two little muscles above the eyes and rewired the desire to seek a human gaze. Your dog's face is an answer tens of thousands of years in the making to the question, what does this strange, face-obsessed ape want to see? Let me make this concrete with two examples of what it looks like on the ground. Picture a border collie named not for anything special, just a working dog on a hillside with a shepherd. The shepherd doesn't shout most commands. A flick of the eyes, a tilt of the head, a small change in the set of the mouth, and the dog adjusts its run across the field. Researchers have tested this directly. Dogs will follow a human pointing gesture, even just a glance toward a hidden cup of food, and find the reward. Chimpanzees, far smarter by most measures and far closer to us genetically, largely fail this test. They don't track the human gaze the way a dog does. And wolves, even wolves raised by humans from birth, are markedly worse at it than ordinary pet dogs. The dog isn't outsmarting the chimp. The dog evolved a specific, narrow genius for reading the human face and following where it points. Second picture. A person comes home after the worst day of their year. They don't slam the door. They don't cry out. They sit down on the floor, quiet, shoulders low, face slack. And the dog, who was not in the room, comes and presses against them. The human gave almost no signal a wolf could use. No big posture shift, no movement across the room, just a face gone still and heavy, and a pair of eyes that lost their light. Your dog read that. It read the thing you didn't say. Which brings me to the last promise. The thing your dog reads that you never notice you're showing. It's not your big emotions. Anyone can see you laugh or shout. It's the microstate in your eyes and the small muscles around your mouth in the seconds before you even know what you feel. The flatness when you're quietly anxious. The softening a beat before you smile. Your dog has spent its entire evolutionary history learning to read the exact channel you broadcast on without meaning to. It is, in a real sense, a specialist in you. Not in wolves, not in other dogs even. In the human face, the one structure its whole lineage was shaped to decode. So the next time your dog looks up and seems to know something about you before you do, you're not imagining it, and it's not magic. You are looking at the result of a long, quiet experiment that ran for tens of thousands of years at the edge of human firelight. Two muscles that grew, a gaze that learned to seek yours, a hormone loop borrowed from human parenthood and stretched across the gap between species. A wolf, your dog's own grandparent down the line, stands in the same room and sees a stranger. Your dog sees you. If this changed the way you'll look at your dog tonight, subscribe and stick around. Next time we trace another instinct you've been carrying around your whole life without ever knowing where it came from.